Hey everyone, I'm working to hit 1,000 subscribers and I need your help to get there. If you enjoy the content, please hit that subscribe button right now. It is mid-March in the Sonoran Desert. Opening day is just around the corner, and the Los Angeles Dodgers are once again doing what they do best, making moves that nobody else in baseball can make with the same cold, calculated, ruthless precision that has turned this franchise into the most dominant dynasty the National League has ever witnessed. The roster is getting smaller, the competition is getting fiercer, and somewhere in the middle of all that beautiful chaos, a group of under-the-radar players is quietly raising their hands and saying, "Hey, don't forget about me. Welcome to the most loaded spring training storyline in baseball, and we are just getting started." Over the weekend, the Dodgers made their second wave of roster cuts, reassigning 12 players from Major League camp at Camelback Ranch. Of those 12, 2 were officially optioned to AAA Oklahoma City, outfielder and first baseman Ryan Ward and left-handed pitcher Ronan Kopp. The other 10 were non-roster invitees sent back to minor league camp, a group that included some genuinely exciting names. Top prospect outfielder Josue De Paula, pitchers Carlos Duran, Carson Hobbs, Garrett McDaniels, Jackson Ferris, Wyatt Mills, Jordan Weems, and Lucas Wepf, catcher Griffin Lockwood Powell, and outfielder Kendall George. That leaves 53 players still in big league camp, 27 pitchers, and 26 position players, not counting Evan Phillips and Kike Hernandez, who are already on the 60-day injured list before the season even begins. For context, this is what it looks like when you are a back-to-back World Series champion trying to figure out which of your extraordinary players gets to be extraordinary on the opening day roster, and which of them needs another few months of seasoning before their moment arrives. Let us start with Ryan Ward, because his story is the one that hurts a little more than the rest. Ward was the darling of the Dodger internet universe for the better part of the last calendar year. When Michael Conforto was floundering in left field and the Dodgers were looking desperately for a corner outfield option, fans everywhere were pointing at this big right-handed bat in AAA Oklahoma City and screaming at the television. The numbers were impossible to ignore. Ward slashed .290, .380, .57 in 143 games last season, blasted 36 home runs, posted a 132 WRC+, and ranked in the top 10% in baseball in hard hit rate, average exit velocity, and expected slugging percentage. The Dodgers rewarded that effort by adding him to the 40-man roster in November, an acknowledgement that, yes, they believe in this guy. So when spring training opened, everyone assumed Ward would come out swinging and stake his claim. Instead, he batted 156, 182, 219 in 12 Cactus League games. 12 games. The bat that had been terrifying AAA pitching for years suddenly went completely silent the moment the spotlight got turned on. In spring training, of all places, where you have everything to gain and nothing to lose. Now, the fact that Ward was optioned rather than released means the Dodgers have not given up on him entirely, and he can still participate in Major League spring training games even after being sent to the minor league side. But this early option does send a message. When a team as loaded as the Dodgers hands you a 40-man roster spot and an extended look in big league camp, and you bat under .60, the organization is going to start wondering whether the Cactus League lights are just a different kind of pressure than this particular player is used to. Ward has real tools. He has put in genuine work to cut down his strikeout rate. His story is not over by any means. But right now, the spring did not go as planned, and he is heading back to Oklahoma City to sort things out with more at-bats and less scrutiny. The much more exciting conversation belongs to the players who were not cut, and specifically to the names who are making people stop and take a second look despite arriving in camp without much fanfare at all. If you have not yet gotten familiar with James Tibbs III, then consider this your formal introduction, because this young man is doing things in the Cactus League that have insiders very quietly buzzing. Tibbs, who goes by JT3 if you want to be cool about it, is a 23-year-old left-handed hitting outfielder who has lived the kind of nomadic prospect life that would test anyone's resolve. Originally drafted by the San Francisco Giants in the first round of the 2024 draft, the 13th overall pick out of Florida State, Tibbs was traded to the Boston Red Sox as part of the Rafael Devers blockbuster deal, and then barely 6 weeks later was dealt again to the Dodgers on the July 31st trade deadline in exchange for Dustin May. 3 organizations in a matter of months. He admitted to feeling beat down and kicked in the mouth by the experience. He gave away much of his Red Sox gear when he arrived in Tulsa, and he went right back to work. What he did in those 36 games with AA Tulsa after arriving tells you everything you need to know about this kid's makeup. He batted .269 with 7 home runs, 32 RBI, and a .900 OPS. The plate discipline that scouts have raved about since his days at Florida State, where he posted a career .342, .465, .697/line, and cut his strikeout rate from 31% as a freshman all the way down to an absurd 10.5% by the time he was a junior. That same patience showed up immediately in a new organization under difficult circumstances. Dodgers manager Dave Roberts was asked about Tibbs after he belted a 458-foot home run in a left-on-left matchup during Cactus League play. His response was direct. He said, "Tibbs is on our radar. When Dave Roberts says something like that in March, you pay attention." Between all three organizations last season, Tibbs finished with 20 home runs and a 127 WRC+. He is hitting .310 this spring with an OPS well north of 800, and he has been playing both outfield corners and first base, showing the kind of defensive versatility that teams like the Dodgers specifically prioritize when building a winning culture. His swing is clean, repeatable, and generates legitimate exit velocities. Think of it this way. He looks like the kind of hitter who knows exactly what he is doing every single time he walks to the plate. The Dodgers stole this kid for Dustin May. Andrew Friedman in the front office strikes again. Then there is Jackson Ferris, who represents something slightly different on the Dodgers' radar. Ferris is a first-round pick from 2022, a left-handed pitcher who came over in the Michael Busch trade, and while he was among the players sent to minor league camp this weekend, his brief Cactus League appearance told an important story. In his 2 2/3 Cactus League innings, Ferris did not allow a single run. That is the headline, but the deeper point is this. The Dodgers were never going to rush Jackson Ferris. This spring was about getting him experience, getting his arm ramped up, getting him confident in a major league environment where the lights are a little brighter and the crowd is a little louder. For a team that already has Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Shohei Ohtani, Tyler Glasnow, and potentially Roki Sasaki in the rotation, there is no need to force any young pitcher up through the system before he is completely ready. That is the luxury of building a champion, and the Dodgers have built it as well as anyone in the game. Speaking of Roki Sasaki, let us address the elephant in the room, because the early spring returns on the young Japanese right-hander have been, to put it diplomatically, rough. In his first Cactus League outing against the Arizona Diamondbacks, Sasaki gave up 3 runs on 3 hits and 2 walks in just 1 1/3 innings. He threw only 17 of his 36 pitches for strikes. Dave Roberts chalked it up to first-game adrenaline and noted that Sasaki was overthrowing his fastball. Then in his second start against the Cleveland Guardians, things got worse before they got better. Sasaki did not record a single out in the first inning, walking 3 batters and allowing 2 hits, including a grand slam. His spring ERA climbed to 18.90. Panic officially set in on social media. But here is where the narrative gets more nuanced. After being removed and reinserted into that Guardians game, Sasaki retired 6 consecutive batters with better command, and his fastball topped out at 99.3 miles per hour. The stuff is there. The issue is mechanical, and Sasaki himself acknowledged it. He told reporters through an interpreter that his mechanics were really bad in recent years and that he has been working hard to correct them, and that in the second inning he identified what was off in his upper body and made the adjustment on the fly. Roberts has been nothing but supportive publicly, saying repeatedly that Sasaki is still expected to be part of the opening day rotation. The plan has since been adjusted to move Sasaki to B games on the backfields at Camelback Ranch, where the Dodgers can fully control the environment, let him roll over innings as needed, and get him stretched out properly as March progresses. With Blake Snell unlikely to be ready for opening day after the club agreed to slow his ramp-up following injury, and Gavin Stone shut down with shoulder inflammation, the Dodgers simply cannot afford to leave Sasaki's opening day rotation spot open. The question is not whether he will be in the rotation. The question is whether his body language and conviction can match the electric talent that everyone in baseball knows he possesses.